Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to, well, just welcome to a very special kind of video. Today I'm ranking essentially every single modern zombies map from Cold War to Black Ops 7, excluding Call of Duty Zombies Vanguard and the Modern Warfare 3 zombies. We're just not even ranking those. I've barely played those two. I played Vanguard, but it's not it. And MW3 I've quite literally never played, so we're just doing essentially every modern zombie map in preparation for Rex INFERNUS, the finale of Black Ops 7. This is going to work very simply. I have a Google Doc right next to me. I have written down three very memorable things about every single map. So when I select a map, what are the first three things I remember about it the most? And we will rank it off of that. We're not really doing like a super deep dive in the map, although I'm sure I'll rant on about a couple maps at some points in this video. But if you're liking these kind of videos and you want to see more zombies content, make sure to show the channel some support. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, one of my favorites, but it is obviously aged differently compared to the new modern zombie maps we've gotten. Let's start with D Machine, the very first map of Cold War, the launch map. Personally, I think a lot of people's favorites. So, my three memorable things about this map, I'll start from three going up to one because I think that's more. I don't really know if I wrote it that way, but it doesn't matter. Number three, I'm gonna start with the Dark Ether and the Pack-a-Punch quest. I mean, it's. I think everybody just thinks of that when you think of D Machine. You think of the going into the Dark Ether, the whole purple sky, seeing the jellyfish. I mean, the whole atmosphere. It's unfortunate that you don't really get to go in there a lot unless you're doing Easter egg steps for D Machine. You know, there's no like round switches and you're in the Dark Ether. So that's kind of a bummer, but I thought it was something very memorable. So that's my three. Number two, I have the Die Shockwave. The wonder weapon for D Machine I think is very memorable. It's got the four different variants. It was kind of like the Thunder Gun, right? When people had seen it in the trailer for the first time, people thought this was going to be like a new kind of Thunder Gun. It really wasn't. It was, I mean, it was, but it was its own version, and I think that's what made it awesome. And number one, we have the Megaton. I think that's just what you think of a D Machine. You think of the fucking Megaton. At least that's for me. Obviously, this whole tier list is personal to me, but I think of the Megaton always, always, always. So I think D Machine is I a long time ago, if you had asked me, maybe before BO7, even before BO6, I'd say I would put D Machine S tier, but for now it's gonna stay A tier. I think that sets a perfect foundation for the rest of the maps going forward. Firebase Z, the second map in Cold War. Number three, I had Dr. Peck. I think he was, it just I don't know. It sounds stupid, but it's like how many times in zombies, there's Call of Dead, there was Citadel in BO6, but like Cold War, it's like you interact with the asshole, and he was also a part of the Easter egg. He had some interesting interactives. So I thought there's not a lot of great things about Firebase C. You'll come to realize that with the things I'm gonna list. So Dr. Peck, yes, he gets to make the list. He gets to make the cut of cooler, memorable things in Firebase C. That's what I remember. Dr. Peck. Number two, I have the Order defense round. I think that's pretty reasonable. That's the first time you've seen a defense round in a long time. Really, that kind of defense round with like that big of a fucking monster that close to you. That was sick. Seeing Order for the first time ever was amazing. Then he was kind of overused over time. So he was eh. And then at my number one, some people might disagree with me, but before, like, I'm telling you, when Firebase Z was out, the Mimics, alright? The Mimics are my number one. I love the Mimics in Firebase Z. I think they are cool. I think they are unique. And do they spawn a little too much? Maybe. I don't like the Manglers on Firebase Z. That's not why they're here. The Mimics are here because they're memorable. They're a part of Firebase Z, and post Firebase Z, they were overused. Right? They were overused in the Tomb, in MW3, fucking everywhere. They were literally used everywhere. So that's why people don't like the Mimic anymore. But in Firebase Z, the Mimic was cool at the time. I thought it was fucking awesome. It was also a really annoying part of the Easter egg step, but that's not a part of it. I think Firebase Z is a C tier map. It's not like you're going to go replay Firebase Z a lot. It was a fun map to grind. It was a fun map for its time. Pre Ray K nerf that wonder weapon, but it's just since it did get nerfed, it's not that memorable. But C I think is fair. I might change some maps around throughout this video. I won't lie. This is my own fucking tier list, so I can do what I want. But I might change my mind. But so far, I'm liking the list. The next map, skipping right over Outbreak because we're not ranking that. We're going to Mauer der Toten. This was a beautiful map for Cold War. I think everybody realizes that. So I'll be honest. I added a honorable mention on top of my 3 memorable things for every single zombies game, and Mauer der Toten does get an honorable mention. So really, there's 4 memorable things. So we'll start with 3. The elite enemy types on Mauer der Toten. I don't think that's really what a lot of people remember it for, but for me, I loved the Krasny Soldat. Right, it was like the remaster, the Panther. I thought it was pretty cool, and I like the Disciples. Once again, the Disciples are one of those enemies that got overused after the Mimic. At the time, it was cool. I like the Disciples. And part of the pack punch quest, you got to kill some Tempests. So I thought the entire map had a good variety of enemy types. I don't think it was boring when you were fighting zombies at all, which is kind of what Firebase Z was, and even D Machine, I'd say, because it just it had the Megaton, then it had the Mimics. And I just hated the Manglers so much on Firebase Z. Anyway, number 2, the Cerberus Wonder Weapon on Mauer der Toten, fucking amazing. Literally nothing like it. It's like a ray gun Mark IV. It has 4 different variants that drop when you kill zombies, which I think is awesome. You don't have to like get upgrades for it. Really, that was kind of like all of Cold War. It's very cheese, very easy, but it's whatever. It's a fun map to play. It was a fun map for its time. The Cerberus still smokes. No matter what. No, I don't know if they had a nerf to it. They must not have, because it's still a super powerful wonder weapon. Even when I played Mauer der Toten only like a month ago. Moving on to number 1. My number 1 memorable thing from Mauer der Toten is just obviously the location. I think the trains, the atmosphere, the whole location being in Berlin is really amazing, because if you go from D Machine to Firebase, to we're not there yet, but to Forsaken, right? It's all very like science labs, very research facility. Like Mauer der Toten feels very like civilian, like we're in people's homes, abandoned buildings, abandoned stores. It was cool. It was very cool. So I think Mauer der Toten gets a top of A tier. I won't lie, it does have some lackluster parts. Oh my god, I didn't even mention the honorable mention. Honorable mention, it had the first difficult Easter egg in Cold War, because D Machine, Firebase, and Outbreak. Outbreak was a hard boss fight, not really an Easter egg, but Mauer brought a difficult Easter egg and a difficult boss fight for Cold War, especially. Not really in like the zombies whole scope of things. But for Cold War specifically, Mauer was really a kick in the ass, which I loved. I loved doing Mauer's Easter egg, and I loved the boss fight. Very memorable. Honorable mention goes to Mauer. Moving on, we're going to Forsaken. Now, a lot of people don't like Forsaken. I'm a Forsaken lover. I just love the map. I had a great time with it, and the reasons are, well, let's get to it. At number 3, I have the No Man's Land. Obviously, when you spawn into Forsaken, you have zombies constantly spawning. I thought that was pretty cool. Number 2, we have Number 2, in comparison to Mauer der Toten, we have the super, especially easy Easter egg. And I kind of combined the boss fight and Easter egg in this one, and the boss fight. So the easy Easter egg is just very memorable for me, at least because of how many times I've done it. It's like 3 parts, and then you could just enter the boss fight. It's a fun Easter egg to do. I like the map. It's not on my top 3. We're only on 2 right now, but it's a very fun map. I think people argue about the teleporting. It's iffy. It's whatever. But the Easter egg is easy and fun to do, which is kind of like a map, which I'll talk about in BO6, very similar to Forsaken. And it had a fun boss fight. The boss fight in Forsaken was like no other boss fight Cold War had. It was we were fighting the Forsaken. You could argue that Orda was like a boss fight, or that like actually. hold on, Outbreak had the Legion boss fight. I forgot about that. But that boss fight's actually fucking insane. It's insanely difficult. But I don't really like the Legion boss fight. I like the Forsaken boss fight. You're filling up lasers, you're shooting the Forsaken. It's I like the enemy types better too. Granted, I think Outbreak just throws everything at you. Anyway, this is a perfect B tier map in my opinion. Um, because moving on to number one, I keep on ranking the maps before I get through my top three. Number one is the Crystal Axe Wonder Weapon for Forsaken. If you remember the Crystal Axe, I think it has to be the coolest melee weapon we had since Citadel. Because obviously the swords came out and that's just so much fucking cooler. But the Crystal Axe turning into a gun and being also that powerful and fast up until only I believe like round 50 something. Still awesome. Amazing wonder weapon. Fun to get too. I like getting the Crystal Axe. So I think it's a perfect B tier map. So we've gone through Cold War. We have ranked all the Cold War maps. Perfect. Amazing. Moving on to Black Ops 6. Figured I'd make my camera bigger. Alright. Black Ops 6 Terminus. We'll start with Terminus before Liberty Falls. Terminus, my top three most memorable things for Terminus. Also, you'll notice the pictures down here, the ones that have the map logo, I look for because some maps do not have map logos, like D Machine, Terminus, Liberty Falls. They do not have map logos, so that's that affects in my brain, and not top, you know what I mean. I'm not going like top three memorable things about the map logo, but it affects the ranking if it's not a deep dive ranking, as I said in the beginning, but you get what I'm trying to fucking get at. Number three, I love the boats and the large map of Terminus. People have the argument that they do not like the boats. They think it's Warzone-like. They do not like going to the other islands of Terminus. Please shut the fuck up. The map is awesome. You literally do not need to leave the main Terminus island if you do not want to. You have access to all the supplies, the arsenal, backup punch, perk machines, whatever the fuck you need. You could stay on the main island. But if you want to actually explore and have a little bit more fun, get the beam smasher, uh you know use the boat, go to the other islands. And I like how big the map is. I like the water, and I like the fact that there's a massive tentacle that comes out of the water and attacks your boat. I think that's fucking sick. Number two, Black Ops 6 Terminus, specifically Black Ops 6, but Terminus had finally kicked up the story of the modern zombies storyline. It finally revved up the fryers. It finally, I'm looking for the word, but we have we have the Tempest crew, I believe that's what they're called, but we have Requiem, because Tempest is the new Richtofen and guy, but we have Requiem breaking out of this prison and and fighting, mind you. I'll just skip the number one. My number one is the Terminus boss fight. But going back to number two with the story of them, Maya's brother, and then Patient 113, and then finally we're getting some juicy action, right? We have Peck helping us, right? Because Cold War was very very stale with the story, but Black Ops 6 is when Treyarch finally decides to rope us back in, and slowly they've started to drag us back in. People did not think, you could still not be totally interested in the modern zombie story, still now, and that's whatever, but me, I think the story got a lot more interesting. So number one is obviously the Terminus boss fight. That's the coolest fucking boss. We had Forsaken, and then we had the Terminus boss fight. It was just such a fucking upgrade. It is so cool, especially the Liberty Falls not having a boss fight. Terminus being a launch map with that cool of a boss arena and a massive like alien like parasite. I don't even like a octopus. I don't even know what to call it. The boss was insane. It was crazy. But Terminus, I think it's fair if we rank it at, I want to say, the top of A, because it had a compared to D Machine and Mauer. I think it had a I think Mauer has a little bit more difficult Easter egg than Terminus. I won't lie, but not as cool as a boss fight. Um, not the Terminus atmosphere compared to Mauer is tough. It's a tie. So Mauer and Terminus are really like this. They're really close in a tie, but Terminus is just a smidge better because Black Ops 6. You have Gobblegums. You have it's like an upgraded version of Cold War. You see what I mean? And Black Ops 7 is an upgraded version of BO6. You see what I'm getting at? For the next map, we have Liberty Falls. Now, there's not a lot to say about Liberty Falls, so I'll get through this quickly. Number 3 is a loss of potential. It could have been the next town if they made it a smaller map, because really what it is Liberty Falls is like if Terminus was Terminus. Imagine being a sheet of paper, and then if you take that sheet of paper and crumple it up and then throw it out. That's Liberty Falls. It's just Terminus, but Liberty Falls should have been so much smaller. It should have been so much smaller, and it should have been like the giant kind of second map. It shouldn't have been like because Liberty Falls could have Liberty Falls is a better launch map than what Vanguard had. Fucking Durong Fang, or whatever it's called. It's a loss of potential. It could have been town if it had a lot less supply. If they made Liberty Falls so where it's like it was so bare bones and difficult because of how the lack of supplies you have compared to where Terminus you have access to a lot of stuff. I think that would have been interesting. I think that would have been awesome. And also the atmosphere in Liberty Falls sucks. Number 2, though, the most memorable thing for Liberty Falls is the side Easter egg quest. I won't lie, I did a lot of side Easter eggs on Liberty Falls. It was pretty fucking awesome, the laser eyes with the superhero girl, the Mr. Peaks bowling alley. It got some pretty cool side Easter eggs. Number 1 is the jet gun for Liberty Falls. That when I think of Liberty Falls, I think of the jet gun. Um, it's crazy how we're getting like these chunks of transit in different Black Ops. I'm going off track, but the jet gun I think is awesome because it is one of the cooler wonder weapons. I won't lie. It's a shame it's on Liberty Falls, but the last jet gun which we had on Transit was horrible. So now we have an infinite ammo, infinite killing jet gun. Pretty cool. I'll give it that. But unfortunately, it is a C tier right above Firebase. I think I would rather play Forsaken than Liberty Falls. So it's really right behind Forsaken. That's how much of a lover I am for it. The next map to launch in BO6 life cycle was Citadel des Morts. Now, number 3, coming in for the most memorable thing, was the special elite enemy, the Doppelgas. The Doppelgas was awesome. It was scary. It was perfectly balanced to kill, and a perfect amount of them spawned in. And it had a cool ability where if it consumed zombies, it could become an Amaglum. I think that was a awesome elite enemy, and it completely matched Citadel des Morts. I don't know why it was on any other map. It started to suck when they added it to like Shattered Veil, and maybe I don't think it was on the Reckoning, but if it was, that sucks. It's just like the Doppelgas should have just been on Citadel, and I think it's on the Tomb too, which is like, come on. So, the Doppelgas. Number 2, it added engaging Easter egg. The Easter egg in Citadel I remember the most out of, well, I would say I remember the steps the most because of how memorable they were. Because the reason why I'm wording this carefully is because there's a map in Black Ops 6 as well that I'll get to that also had an incredible Easter egg with memorable steps. But Citadel with the swords, the sword quests, um, the boss fight of the statue in the middle of the town, the little different knickknacks you had to do to unlock parts of the map. I think it was cool. Sorry, not unlock parts of the map, but unlock parts of the Easter egg quests. If you see what I'm getting at. I thought Citadel was pretty good for that. It had a memorable Easter egg. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. And number 1 is the swords. Whenever I think of Citadel, you think of the swords. That's 100% it. The wonder weapons. It's a shame that they got nerfed in some way. Then they got buffed. At Treyarch, we don't know what they were doing during BO6, but they were fucking awesome when they released. They had a very fun quest to get the swords. I loved it. Great wonder weapon. Where would I rank it? I would rank it above Forsaken. Now, people are gonna think crazy things, saying, "How could you think Terminus is better than Citadel?" Because some people might agree that Die Machine and Mauer is better than Citadel, or not, or not. You might be thinking I'm crazy that the maps I have in A tier are better than Citadel, but I promise you that I'm going off of the top three most memorable things, but I'm kind of also looking at it as, the first time I played it on launch, because that is really a map showing you it's, a map could settle in after a while, but its launch experience is really, what you remember about it, right? So obviously, my top three most memorable things ties into, the first time I played it. What did I remember? What did I witness the most critical of, that my brain that seemed to strike my brain. So I want to say that the most striking things in Terminus Mauer and D Machine were bigger than the ones in Citadel. I think that's the truth. Now, moving on to the tomb, people might hate my thoughts about this, but if you've listened to some of my videos, I've given the tomb a little bit of slack. I won't lie. I'll get through the tomb quickly like I did Liberty Falls. But let's start off with number 3, the Dark Ether area. Fucking amazing. Amazing. And it's not like D Machine where it's like you're only in there for a limited amount of time. It's like, no, you could actually stay in there and be in there the entire time. It's not a large area of the map. It's not a large area of the tomb, but it's the Pack-a-Punch area, and it's a part of the Easter egg area. It's a part of the boss fight area. Ah, God. It's amazing. It's exceptionally a beautiful place for a map like the tomb. Number 2, it's an extremely easy but fun Easter egg and boss fight. Like I said for the Forsaken Easter egg and boss fight, I think that yes, Forsaken is an easy Easter egg and an easy boss fight. But I believe that's not a bad thing. And I believe that also applies to Tomb. I think there should be maps in a game that have difficult Easter eggs, that have difficult boss fights, and then I believe, there should be that one map that is fun to do, that is fun to complete, and I believe that is Forsaken for Cold War, and I believe that is the Tomb for BO6. Because the Tomb, it also ties into my number 1. I'll just say it now. The Ice Staff Wonder Weapon. You could say it's reused. You could say it's the most fun Wonder Weapon to use in BO6 almost. It is insanely OP. It's extremely amazing for high rounds. And it's fun to get. It's actually fun to get. I like it. I like getting it. So I think Tomb deserves the top of C tier. Ah, God, do I? Do I? Yeah. I think it deserves the top of C tier. I really think it does. Alright, moving on to the tomb. Or, sorry, shit. Moving off of the tomb, we have the Shattered Veil. Now, I have some very deep thoughts about this map. Very twisted. It's a love-hate relationship. I've personally attempted this map's Easter egg what feels like hundreds of times. I have not completed it. I've gotten to the boss fight and I've died in the boss fight countless amount of times. And it's the Easter egg in Modern Zombies that stopped me from doing Easter eggs. I did D Machine, I did all the maps from D Machine up to Shattered Veil, and Shattered Veil just stopped me. I didn't do Reckoning, I didn't do any of the BO7 maps. I just stopped doing Easter eggs because I was just fucking defeated. I was so defeated that I did not get a Shattered Veil early completion calling card. Um, so you know what? It's fine though. It's fine. Starting with number 3 for the Shattered Veil. Also, I did give the honorable mention to Shattered Veil, so we'll get to that. Number 3, the Ray Gun Mark II makes its appearance on the map, and it also makes an appearance to all the other maps. It's not just in Shattered Veil; it gets added to all of BO6. I mean, how is that? You think of Shattered Veil, you think of the Mark II, you think of the different variants. Now it's on every other map. I mean, that's just kind of awesome. That's what I think of. Number 2, The Z-Rex boss fight, I hate to admit it, but it is just like, it's all I can think about. The skeleton dinosaur that is the centerpiece of the entire map is the boss fight. A zombie dinosaur that is extremely difficult to fucking defeat. And Richtofen helps you defeat it. Is that not amazing? And number one is that it has an amazing Easter egg. And this is separate from my number two. The Z-Rex, I believe for Forsaken I combined, as well as Tomb, I combined the Easter egg and boss fight into one. The boss fight and Easter egg get two different spots in Shadow Vale because that's how memorable they really are. The Easter egg going into the different paintings, turning the zombie to be a barkeeper, the little things, right? Defending the plants, spawning an abomination to smash into rocks. I mean, that Easter egg, fucking amazing. One of the best Easter eggs I've ever done. And I still haven't completed it. But the honorable mention for Shadow Vale is that the Wonder Waff is in it's the Wonder Waff. And the story is quite amazing as well. It leads up to a pretty great finale map, which was shittier than I thought it would be. But that's kind of what I expected when, the ending cutscene is I see, Richtofen walking towards these towers. I'm like, fuck, another science map. Because Shadow Vale, it was great. It was so great. It was like Richtofen's house. And then we go to the Reckoning, bro. It's like, ugh. So I'm going to rank the Shadow Vale. I think Shadow Vale is a perfect S tier map. You can't tell me otherwise. Everything about it is perfect. It does have a reused Wonder Weapon. It has two reused Wonder Weapons, the Mark II and the Wonder Waff. But that's how amazing of a map I think it is. Incredible Easter egg, incredible ending cutscene and boss fight, and what a hype builder. Seriously, what a hype builder. Granted, it did have the Elder Disciple, not my favorite enemy type whatsoever. What else did it have? It had quite a cool special enemy round with the gas zombies. I think it's an S tier map. I would go and replay it. And that's replayability is really all it's about, right? All right, I'm gonna be honest. The Reckoning's the one map here that I'm gonna rank before I even go on before I do the top three. Reckoning's getting a D. All right, and here are the three reasons. All right, the one. Actually, I realized I wrote them down as like I gave the map some slack. So I'll go over the good and then I'll do the bad. Number three, the Wonder Weapon quest was specifically interesting. The Gorgaflex, I believe the Wonder Weapon was called. The Reckoning is by far the least zombies map I've played in all of modern zombies. Like from D Machine to Kawakuju, Reckoning is by far the least I've ever played. I've gotten the Wonder Weapon once, literally once. I don't think I've ever done that for a map. I've at least gotten the Wonder Weapon twice, at least on every map, and so the Wonder Weapon quest being like where you fuck, what's his name? The guy, the radio guy who helped us on Liberty Falls. You kill him, like you melt him to death. Butcher? No, I'm thinking of like somebody from the boys. I don't know what his name is. Uberklaus, very strong and I think perfectly balanced as well. I don't know if he spawned in a ton, but I liked Uberklaus. I liked him. Number one, the choose a boss fight ending. Whoa. I will give Reckoning a lot of slack for that. That's very fucking cool. Possibly, what I would say, possibly even cooler than the Z-Rex, maybe getting to choose if you fight Richtofen or Samantha Maxis. That's really awesome. I won't lie. Looking back at that, that is extremely fucking awesome. So it is it's just that everything is dragging the map down besides the boss fight. So I really can't give the map its competition with Shattered Vale just because of its boss fight. There's a lot more that Shattered Vale does better than the Reckoning. So it's just that the Reckoning is just the map layout I think is horrible, very confusing. I do not like the Wonder Weapon, I won't lie. I don't like the look of it. I think it's like it's like a shitty pistol, bro. It's like the High on Life fucking the thing. It's like Kenny. I don't know. Reckoning's a D tier for me. First D tier, probably the only D tier I'm going to give here, I won't lie. But moving on to Black Ops 7, we've graduated onward, done with BO6. The tier list is still looking great so far. No changes yet. Ashes of the Damned. Old Tessie adding a very unique experience. Also part of the boss fight. I think being able to drive a truck into the fucking boss and doing damage to it as part of the cycle of the boss fight. That's awesome. Being able to drive. I always thought that we should have like a bus instead of driving a truck. I changed my mind. I think driving the truck is awesome. I think we should keep the truck. I think that it also this was how Terminus was a real Kickstarter for the story for BO6. Ash of the Damned is a huge Kickstarter for the story, even more so for BO7. We see the Warden, we get our new crew of people, Richtofen and Nikolai, all them. It's amazing. And number one, my favorite special enemy, I think in all of Black Ops 7, really God, it might be all time the Zeusra, the bear. You're fighting a fucking zombie bear. That's awesome. That is awesome. It is on par with the Megaton. That is awesome. It is awesome. All right, moving on to Astra Malorum. Fuck, I didn't even rank it yet. I'm just moving quickly because I'm realizing like I've been recording for. I'm just yapping. I'm yapping so much. I thought this would be like a 15-minute video. 36 minutes right now. I have too much to say. Astra the Damned is easily, I would say, right in between D Machine and Mauer. Astra Malorum, what are my top three most memorable things about it? Number three, we have Oscar. Very cool enemy type. I like how he just roams around the map. He's a little too strong though, I won't lie. The LGM-1, the Wonder Weapon, awesome. Awesome Wonder Weapon. Amazing Wonder Weapon. Little UFOs that shoot around the zombie. It's like an AoE, but not real. It's very, very also cool looking Wonder Weapon. The green tint on it, if you ever looked at the Wonder Weapons tab in Black Ops 7, if you looked at the green tint on the Wonder Weapon, I think it looks fucking amazing. And number one, I have to just give it that we're on a rock in space here. We're on a skull in space, a floating skull in space, and you can go to Mars for the boss fight. The whole atmosphere of the map is amazing. 10 out of 10 atmosphere almost. I would gladly rank Astra Malorum top of B tier. I think that's very fair. Moving on, we have Paradox Junction. I am a lover for Paradox Junction. I won't lie. I love the special enemy round, the Rat Hounds or Plague Hounds. I'm not sure what they're called. They're extremely difficult to beat. I don't want to say extremely difficult, but they're just like especially on enemy round, you're not stressing because you're just like, oh, free max ammo. But the dogs are actually fucking hunting your ass down. They are so fast. I love it. Great special enemy round. The time slipping having to do with the Easter egg, the two different Nuketowns, the expanded Nuketown as well. Amazing. I think, it's like, which kind of Nuketown do I want to play in right now? I can play a modern Nuketown, ultimate, whatever. I can do whatever I want in the map. It's awesome. And also the Wonder Weapon quest, getting the Blunder Guide I didn't put on it, but the Wonder Weapon quest going back and forth, I think that's very fun. Very fun to do. And number one for this map, I don't think any other modern zombie map does this. The random perk locations every single game. I love it. I love it so much. I love when they're random perk locations. It's one of my niche favorites about a zombie map. If it has it, I love the random perk locations. I think it just adds more replayability, more variety. It's something that Paradox does well, and I like it a lot. I'm putting it right up. God, I would rather. No. I'm putting it at top of B tier. I would rather play Paradox Junction than all the maps below it, which is kind of crazy. Is it though? I don't think it is. Top of B tier Paradox deserves. 2 more maps to go. Toten, Reich. I did give the honorable mention of BO7 to Toten Reich, so we'll start with the honorable mention. It has a very cool special enemy round, very unique with the frost zombies. You have to use the traps to help. I think you stay indoors, you don't get frost. Very cool. I like it. Number 3, the Johann Star Wonder Weapon is like nothing I've ever seen. You could hit, combos with that shit. There's different like abilities. Fucking amazing. When have you ever seen like a lantern? As that like Black Ops 7 has done the Wonder Weapons extremely well. The Johann Star is definitely one of them. Number 2 is the coolest boss fight I have ever seen, hands down. The Ice Titan fighting tier, the robot, literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. The coolest fucking thing. The intro cutscene for Toten Reich was the best intro cutscene we've gotten in a long time. And the boss fight for Toten Reich is amazing. Is so amazing. It makes you want to do the Easter egg, and I eventually will. I will. I'll get there. I'll get there. But the boss fight, fucking amazing. So fucking amazing. It just it the whole. It's like a cinematic, like performance in front of you of them fighting. Well, you're actually fighting the Ice Titan. The robot's helping you. But number one is I think it has a great circle layout. The entire map of Totenreich. You kind of have like the circle, the island, and then you have the lighthouse over here if you want to go to it. But it's a perfect circle with an island in the middle. You have zip lines. You can travel very easily. There's fishing in the map as well. I I I think it's awesome. Also the atmosphere, it's all snowy, very very nice. Totenreich, I'm putting. God, I am gonna put it at the top of A tier, just because I really feel like I haven't even fully relished the map yet to its full ability. I have played the map a lot, and I still feel like there's more that I could do. That there's more I could explore and play. Obviously, like this is Call of Duty Zombies, right? I'm not talking about like Zelda where I'm gonna discover this new hidden Easter egg. I'm just talking about just replayability wise. I think that Totenreich really does strike it. I haven't really been, it doesn't sound like I'd like it as much as the way I've been describing other maps, but I think it just really does beat all the other maps as far as memorability. Final map, Kawakuju. Fucking amazing map. Number 3, Oni as the elite enemy, perfectly balanced. Spawns in a perfect amount of rounds. I believe it's like every round at some point. But his attacks are very fun. He's very easy to kill, and he's balanced, and he's a great special enemy. You'll never get fucking. I mean, you actually will get 2 Onis in one round, but it's like you're not getting like 10 Onis in one round, like the mimics, right? So I think it's a perfect special enemy. Number 2, the map is on erupting volcanoes. I feel like that says enough. The whole map atmosphere wipes Totenreich, wipes Ash of the Damned, wipes Astra Melora, Paradox Junction. Kawakuju by far, before Rex INFERNUS, has the best atmosphere. There's nothing like it. And number one for me is the Cat Wonder Weapon. I think the Cat Wonder Weapon beats the Johann Star. It beats the Necromancer, the Gauntlet. It beats the LGM-1. It beats the Blundergat. Beats all the BO6 Wonder Weapons, all the Cold War Wonder Weapons. The Cat is the coolest Wonder Weapon I feel like we have gotten to date in modern zombies. Mind you, this entire tier list has excluded Vanguard zombies and MW3 zombies if you did not know so far. So I'm not sure what wonder weapons they have. So when I'm talking about modern zombies, I'm talking about Black Ops. I believe I even forgot what the cat. I'm just calling it the cat wonder weapon. The cat wonder weapon is so fucking cool. You have to understand, and a lot of people hate on it too. I don't get it. I don't get it. You're a pussy if you hate on the cat wonder weapon. You think it's like, what are you, fucking girl? Grow up. It's a cat. It is a laser eye shooting cat. It's an S tier map. It's an S tier map above Shattered Veil. Kawakuju has to be one of my favorite modern zombie maps to date right now in the longest fucking time. I promise the dragon. The fucking dragon I didn't even put up here. Honorable mention to Kawakuju as well. The dragon. So without further ado, this is my list, ladies and gentlemen. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for listening to me, for watching. Show the channel support. I'm seeing a spider crawl across my video. Alright, I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy.